Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So in yesterday's video, a lot of you misunderstood me. You thought the analysis that I did was like the final end-all be-all analysis of ULTY, but I said in the video there would be two parts to the analysis. There may actually be three parts, and the results may yet still surprise you. So I know that there is a growing fan base for ULTY, and a lot of you all think that ULTY is like the best ETF ever, like known to mankind, ever like to set itself like on the face of the earth, basically. So we're gonna have a reality check in this video, for one thing, and again, the results may surprise you. Who is this? Let's get this money. Welcome. All right, yeah, let's make some money. Okay, so let's go into part two of the analysis that I promised yesterday. So, as we all know, ULTY in March went to weekly. So what we were going over yesterday, we did the analysis all the way up to the end of 2024. And here's the thing, folks. Once it went to weekly, because of the price of the fund, because of this thing that we call NAV erosion, or whatever term you want to use, whatever buzzword you want to use, the fact of the matter is the fund price is lower than where it started at. I think we can all agree on that, right? Like I think 100% of us can agree on the fact that the price of ULTY is lower today than where it started at. Why that is, how that happened, I'm not commenting on any of that. So I don't want to get into any controversy when it comes to any of that. I'm just merely pointing out that ULTY's price is lower today than it started out. Just a fact. And because of that, the dividend payouts now are lower than what they started at. So I hope we can all at least agree on factual information. Okay, so resuming where we left off yesterday, so the first basically 3 months of the year, January, February, and March, we still got monthly dividends. So we got a 57-cent dividend in January, which on our $1 million investment, hypothetical, would be 29,534.88. In February, a day before my all-important birthday, just kidding, but February 6th, actually, the payout was a nice birthday present because it was on my birthday. Anyway, so this was 54 cents, which is a 27,746.77 dividend payout. March 6th, 47 cents, which was 24,046.51 in total. Now, what happened after that? A week later, we switched to weekly. Let me move this over here. Okay, so we switched to weekly. So the dividend was basically 10.25 cents weekly. So here's the thing, folks. Weekly, if you summate the 4 months, basically, the dividend continues to be lower than what it was because ULTY's share price is still lower. I know in 2025 it has recovered. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into the performance of ULTY. The weekly strategy might actually work. We have the half a lump on. It's just a high flyer that getting fan love. Yeah, I mean, I can make a video about ULTY, and maybe that's why I'm doing it. Kidding, but I mean, ULTY's like all the rage now. Are you being held hostage in a basement somewhere? No. Why do you say that? Because it's dark. It just happens to be. It just happens to be getting dark out. So it is what it is. Anyway, I'm back on StreamYard too. I'm using different apps, obviously. Okay, so continuing on, let's go ahead and look real quick at ULTY. And I think we can all agree on a chart, at least, when the chart says it's down. Um, I just want to I want to kind of establish like the lowest common denominator of what we all actually agree on, because it's always iffy. Sometimes we don't always even agree on facts. Okay, so year to date, price return down 30%. So we were at 897 December 31st, but I know, right? Total return. That's what I always do. Total return. I know that's just price return, that pesky price return. So total return, let's see. We are up. Oh, wow, beating the S&P. Amazing. Amazing. Best fund ever. My mind is totally, I've had an epiphany just right now. 26.93%. S&P is up 18%. Wow, my growth investing just out the window. The whole thesis out the window just now. Kidding a bit, but I mean that's what some of you would say. That like, look at that. Oh, put 2 million in now because 27%, right? But anyway, a few things that I do want to point out that is amazing. Okay, the fact that it's up 27% in total return, it actually is beating the S&P in terms of total return. That is a factual statement. It's beating the S&P in terms of total return. So, but we still have to pay attention because the dividends are based on price. We still do have to pay attention to price return. So, I'm trying to level set here because I guess it hasn't quite like fully hit me yet how amazing Ulti is. So I'm being a little bit objective. Oh, look who it is. It's Marcos. He's a big Ulti guy now. Um, I like the emoji there. The eyebrows on the emoji are almost as thick as mine. Blink twice if you need help. I've probably blinked more than twice in this live stream, so I don't know what that says. Let's see. Less cents is easier to recover every week. Plus the hedging changes to the fund. I agree. The weekly strategy change has been a game changer for it, to be clear. It's been an absolute game changer. But let's continue on with the spreadsheet analysis. So I wanted to point out, the chart here. So the fact of the matter is, and I will point out as well, because I'm a fair critic, right? I mean, I look at both sides of everything. So you see, we had a lot of, NAV decline here, but what happened once we went to weekly? Flat. So that might actually be, and here's a video idea that's probably going to take off on here. That might actually be the strategy to stabilize the NAV is to go weekly. That's actually what I'm thinking. Going weekly might actually be the hidden strategy to stabilize the NAV. But anyway, so that's that. We have all the dividends and stuff in the spreadsheet here. I've been using Google Sheets. I got kicked off of my student account of Excel, and I've been too lazy to reactivate the new one. Okay, so March 13th, something magical happened. We changed to weekly dividends, and it was as magical as a day at Disney, and it almost equaled the price tag too. 5,000 maybe for two people. 5,297. So that's great. So on $1 million weekly, you're making 5,297. So the dividend, okay, that was our first weekly dividend, right? Then it dropped to 5,049, came back up a little bit. Then April 3rd, granted, this was the what do we call it? Liberation Day. This is when a lot of the tariff stuff went in, and people weren't sure how it was going to do. So the market, March and April, the market dropped a lot. We've got to take that into consideration too, right? So March, or rather April, 4,700, and then 4,200 is where we actually bottomed out. Since we bottomed out here, I'm going to make a note here. This was like the bottoming out point. Okay. 42, 48, and then we started increasing. So look at this. Every week since, see, you could kind of spin this, I guess, any way you want. If you want to be a naysayer, you could say, oh, it sucks. If you want to spin it positively, you could say, wow, this is the best fun known to mankind. Um, so it kept going. Well, it did go down a little bit here, but then 4,800, then 6,100. So it's increased from the bottom point, and then almost 5,500, 5,000, and then it started decreasing again a little bit. So anyway, what I did because of the fluctuation, I went ahead and took the average. And I think this is what's going to surprise you all because remember, we're comparing MSTY to ULTY. So the average dividend over these last few weeks, if you multiply it out over 52 weeks, which I think that's correct, right? There's 52 weeks in a year. I know a lot of you all that watch very closely, which a lot of you do. You pointed out, oh, it's 13 instead of 12 and stuff like that. So it's better to correct me live than to wait and comment after the fact. I'd rather you, instead of being the Monday morning quarterback, be the Sunday afternoon quarterback. Go ahead and correct me during the game. That works a lot better. Let's see how we're doing in comments here. We've got drone and video. Just got in room, so overall better by what's MYSTY. I thought it was Misty. What happened to the live? What? Oh no, not again. I'm on a different platform. So he's getting sultry about Ulti. I guess so. Saturday Night Live, yeah, I'm trying to match their comedy, but, you know, it's funny, and I'm sure you would agree, actually, Saturday Night Live used to be a lot funnier, but now everything's, like, of one persuasion. Uh, CFB greater than NFL. Really? You mean Coach's live stream? That would be something. Hey, welcome, Pirate Justin. Currently sitting, what are you sitting on it for? You could be doing covered calls or something. Sitting doesn't get you anywhere. Remember, you want to live off dividends and options. Just over 2K ULTY. Yeah, that's right. Comment away how much ULTY you have. Since this is the greatest ETF known to mankind, might as well. It's apparently, and what do you think, Rod? I know you're a MSTY guy, but ULTY, ULTY better? It's certainly getting a lot of traction. I'm just trying to keep up. You all, the audience, are the ones that are truly ahead of the curve. I'm just trying to keep up. I haven't quite reached that like nirvana yet when it comes to ULTY's majesty. So I'm getting there though. Trust me. Let's see. Misty, I know, I'm just teasing. I do that to people. One guy, this was a couple of years ago, but I pissed him off because I was like, I have a very sarcastic sense of humor, if you all haven't noticed. It kind of rubs some people the wrong way, which I don't mean to do. But one guy's like, he just like left. But I'm teasing because, you know, it's just a spelling thing. That's all. CC is not available for Ulti. See, this is what I love about the audience. You all, and this is what I want, actually. I want a game time quarterback, not a Monday morning quarterbacking. So that's perfect. He told me during the live stream. Let's see. Never felt ulty for some reason. Did I get to my point, by the way, before I keep reading all these comments? This is funny. Now I got to read this one. This is funny. I'm a genie. You got to rub me the right way. Not sure how to take that. I only care about divvy payouts. Of course, I know no options, no covered call premiums, no puts, none of that. That's all overrated. Dividends, right? He says, nah, LMAO. I was wrong. There are now options. Oh, so you were wrong. So it's not just me that can be wrong. 15, that's a lot. Now, the example, let me scroll up here. So in the example, um, watch this. So it's 51,680 shares approximately if you bought early on. Here's the funny thing now, and this may be video number 4 on this subject. If you were to pay today's price for it, or as of close of business Friday, watch this. You would actually get 159,000 shares. Let me convert this away from dollars. That's crazy, right? So if you were to buy today, 100, so you would triple your shares. So let me let me do this because there's honestly there's like 6 different angles you could come at this with. You could say, oh, but if you buy now, because your example's outdated because you bought at the inconvenient start of the fund, you know, we want to ignore all that. I get it. But like now, okay, so you triple your shares if you were to buy today. And then, okay, I'll do this example too. All right, so on triple the shares, let's see. Um, all right, what would the dividend be? We'll do the last one, okay? That's what we'll make this column. So this 10-cent dividend, we'll multiply it by, if we bought today, basically, if we bought just now. This is an approximation. This isn't exact math, okay? But, ooh, hold on a second. Something doesn't seem right. Okay, dollar sign. Let's do this. Um, let's see. Hold on a second. Oops, I accidentally overwrote something, I think. Bear with me, folks. Math on the fly is difficult. It's almost as difficult as math on a test when you can't apply it to anything. What did I do here? B56 times B2. No, that's not what I want. Shoot. Where did my... Hold on a second. I guess I just lost it. Not my marbles, but the number I was looking for. All right, divided by 6. What was it? 627, right? Good memory, coach. How did I just lose that? Did it delete? All right, forget that. This is what we get. This is the growing pains of being live. All right, so we would have approximately 159,489.63. All right, drum roll. So that cell is D2. So D2, you'll see where I'm going here in a second. Okay, this cell, it's equals this times D2. Okay, now we're talking. So now we're tripling our dividend yield. This is more like the example you all are looking for. Times 52. Oh, amazing. See? All right, now, and I'll do a separate video for this because this is more like an 85% yield on your $1,000,000 if this sustained, but it has to sustain. I'm just, forgive me for this. I'm just looking at the whole history of it. I'm not, I know like a year is a long time. I'm looking at like the whole history of it. I'm not looking at just this year, but if I just take this year, it's amazing. It's all peaches and roses. So 85%. But what I was getting at here, if you bought last year, because there are people that did this, keep in mind, if you bought last year, these are the dividends you're getting. So the example for these two videos is if you bought last year, your dividend projection right now would be 257,876.84, which, hey, we can't complain about that. That's still like a 26% dividend yield. That's still amazing. That's still like a full-time executive salary. It's not my salary, it's actually way higher, but executive salary, that's why I say that. Now, if you bought this year, that's where you would be. That's a very good yield. So, being that it's weekly, who is the winner? Who is the true winner now? I still think it's Misty because look at the payouts on Misty. See the payouts on Misty still, even still. Now, if Misty goes weekly, that's probably a topic for like video number 5. If Misty goes weekly, then that could be a whole game changer too, which I think it might. There's always a chance. All right, let's do some comments here. Let's see what we got here. We got a lot of you chirping away here. He says approximately. Yeah, I did that math way ahead of you, bud. Or maybe you're just copying my answer. That's okay. A lot of classmates used to copy me on tests anyway, or the other way around. I can't remember. Hopefully, Ulti and Misty lasts producing this results. What? Oh, you got your boxing gloves on. I see. That's funny. It's almost like an optical illusion. It looked like pecs for a second, or something else. Hopefully, Ulti and Misty last producing this results. I agree with you. I agree. Hopefully, they can last. Misty was $1.22. Yeah, but I did the math. Watch the last video, or I guess 2 videos ago, because I've done all that math. So I guess $1.22 if you want to divide it by 4. Here's my fancy custom calculation, not for sale, by the way, but I've determined in all the maths that I've mathed with all the equations and the mathematics that I've done in my coaching career, I have determined, watch this, so 1.2282, I have determined that in a month is basically there are 4.3333 repeating decimal basically weeks in a month. So watch this. I'm going to do this real quick just for Dehaphilum, just since he's on this live stream. If he wasn't on this live stream, I wouldn't consider doing this at all. Then again, of course, if he wasn't on, I wouldn't have got the comment. So since he's on, I'll do this just for him. I'm going to divide by 4.3333, and that would be our estimated weekly Misty dividend right now, 28 cents, which, by the way, is still higher than Ulti. So I'm still in Misty's camp right now. You all still have some convincing to do because you all have to convince me why I'm wrong because I'm just not quite there. I get it that you all are there. I just have to get to your level, is what it is with Ulti. So, all sarcasm aside, let's see here. Oh, Rod's still on. So what do you think the odds are of Misty going weekly? I agree with you. Misty's greater than Ulti, but Ulti's a great fun for high IV plays. I agree. And they've improved a lot too. Advanced predictive. I quit using it. Actually, well, I won't say I quit. It's just upstairs and I'm too lazy to go get it. But since YieldMax kind of spoofed the advanced equipment, I need to start using both of them. So, but what I did, I actually switched to predicting the dividend, so I don't use the advanced equipment as much. All right, I missed some comments here. Let's see. He says chairs. That'd be a lot of chairs. 159,489. That's so you're following my math. You're making sure my math is mathing. That's triple if we were to buy today, which I know we like to forget the fact that Ulti was around a year ago and struggled a little bit. We kind of like to ignore that. I get it. We want to focus on the positive. I get it. But this number is if we were to buy today or as of close of business yesterday, That's the number of shares we would have. So we could actually be making what you see in cell E56. We could be making 16,411 weekly on $1 million, which I know is chump change to most of you, right? Kidding. Not saying it's overrated just for me. The divvy payouts do more for me while I work full time. I still work full time too. Some people ask me why. Also, I bought after April and after it went weekly. So you bought when it went weekly, basically. All right, so we're all caught up on comments. So there you go. I think you all got about 20 minutes out of me today. Let's do two more over here. I use weeklies for yield max and roundhill. We got to start covering roundhill again, by the way. Leveraged weeklies for single stocks. They do better, IMO. Let me read that again. I use weeklies for yield max and roundhill, leveraged weeklies for single stocks. Oh, interesting. I think the weekly strategy is a winner. I'm in agreement on that. Okay, last comment. As long as MSTY stays with the good dividends above $1 a share, I'm sticking with it. Otherwise, ULTY would be better. I actually look because it's funny. Just a little nugget here. I don't reinvest dividends at all. I basically do the dividend wheel. Honestly, I don't even know what I use the money for. I think I'm just holding everything back as collateral because I've pretty much gone all in on options trading. Don't tell any of these dividend people that. I mean, I am a dividend person, but I've basically, because I'm doing well with the wheel strategy, I've basically gone all in on that. So I'm not even really buying individual stocks. I've got to decide at some point if I get enough, like, I've got to decide if I want to start buying individual stocks again. But oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the comment there. LOL. You should ask if MSTY will ever go weekly. I tell you what, the next time we have Jay on, we'll ask him that just for you. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join Discord, and check out all the channels mentioned. And we will see you all in the next one. Take care. Have a great evening. Bye.